Gino Smith is back. The Jets signed a Pro Bowl corner. Oh, my. More moves to come. Oh, my goodness. There is a lot going on here in Jets land. We have you covered. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit.
Good morning, everybody. I am Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. There is an unbelievable amount to go through. The Jets traded for Gino Smith. Gino Smith did a full 30-minute sit-down interview moments after the trade was, reported on social media, and had all kinds of interesting things to say. The Jets signed Nathan Wright, a Pro Bowl Chicago Bears cornerback, and I have a lot of thoughts on him. I think he's one of the most interesting free agents who's out on the market. But before any of that, folks, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about something else first. I see a membership from MFC. We'll get all to that in just a moment. Yesterday, in the middle of all the free agency craziness, we lost a legend. Matt Snell passed away yesterday at the age of 84. He died due to natural causes. Bo Snell, his son, told ESPN's Rich Cimini he passed away at an assisted living facility on Long Island. Folks, the Super Bowl win, the victory, the only one the Jets have in their 67-year history, doesn't happen without Matt Snell. And I know we have a variety of ages of Jet fans that listen to this show. We've got teenagers. We've got people in their 20s. We've got people in their 30s. We've got people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. But for me, I've always been a person that treasures history. I've always been a person that, hey, who paved the path for us as fans of the team, players on the team, all these other things. And Matt Snell is an absolute, unequivocal legend of this franchise. He scored the only touchdown in Super Bowl III against those Baltimore Colts on January 12, 1969. Carried it from 4 yards out. Let's relive that right now. Shout out to New York Jets history, who has the clip. Here you go. From January 12th, 1969. Roll it. That is the highlight clip, folks, from so long ago. And I'm just smiling because I have Super Bowl III on DVD. I've seen it a million times. Of course, I wasn't alive to savor it in the moment. But I smile. You hear the names. Joe Namath under center, hands it off. Matt Snell off to the left side and punches it in the end zone from 4 yards out. Gives the Jets the lead. Again, depending on your bookie of choice, the Jets were between 18 and 22-point underdogs. It was one of the largest upsets in Super Bowl history, depending. Is one of the most pivotal games in football history. The AFL had to prove their legitimacy. And without that Super Bowl, who knows what happens with the merger. Matt Snell, in that game, had 121 rushing yards on 30 rushing attempts with that touchdown and 4 catches for 40 receiving yards. There's many out there in the universe that believe Matt Snell should have been the Super Bowl MVP, not Joe Namath. We all know Joe Namath, the guarantee, the quarterback. We know why he got the Super Bowl MVP. But there's many people that say Matt Snell should have gotten the Super Bowl MVP. The 6'2", 219-pound fullback back in those days played all 9 seasons in the NFL with the New York Jets. He appeared in 86 games. He made 76 starts. He finished his career with 1,057 carries for 4,285 rushing yards with 24 touchdowns. To this day, Matt Snell is still 4th all-time in rushing yards in Jets franchise history. He's 4th on that list. Unfortunately, Matt Snell is no longer with us. I know we've gotten new Boy Green Daily fans, new subscribers to the channel. So some of you may not be aware of this, but there was an article. If you look at our recent YouTube short that just went out on Matt Snell, there's an article in that YouTube description with my story that I wrote this morning on Matt Snell. And in that story, I talk about Bob Lederer, who we have every Friday on the show. So I'm looking forward, as always, to having Bob on. You see that book over my left shoulder. It's always there. Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. In that book that Bob put together so many years ago, the book was designed as a celebration of the living members of the football team, the coaching staff, management, to tell stories and to reminisce and to talk about the New York Jets winning the Super Bowl. In that book, Bob Lederer scored a very rare interview with Matt Snell. And Bob Lederer, thank God he did, recorded the audio tapes of his one-on-one interview between Bob Lederer and Matt Snell for accuracy, as he's putting the book together, to perfectly recap whatever story that was told. But now we have it captured in history forever. Bob Lederer, me and Bob reconnected last summer, and Bob played those audio tapes for the first time ever on air. And I linked back that clip in the article. And the sad part is, of course, Matt Snell is no longer with us. That's an incredibly sad part of the story. But another sad part of the story to me is the non-existent relationship between Matt Snell and the Jets. Some people may be stumbling into the show and just hearing that for the very first time. But yes, it is indeed true. Matt Snell and the Jets were not on good terms. Quite frankly, they haven't been on good terms in 50 some odd years. It's been a long time that they haven't been on good terms. And they essentially stem from two things. And you guys can go listen to Matt Snell tell it in his own words, where he talks about the broken relationship in his mind between himself and the Jets. But there was a broken promise where he thought he had a job for life based on conversations. He never got that. He sought out a letter of recommendation from the Jets so he could seek other employment. And he was told by the Jets that we don't do that. That also made Matt Snell angry. He was inducted into the team's Ring of Honor in 2015. In 2019, they celebrated the 50-year anniversary of the Super Bowl team. Matt Snell attended neither of those events because of his broken relationship with the Jets. And I hate that we will never be able to fix this if there is any fixing to be done of that relationship and mending those fences. That I'm very sad about. I'm incredibly sad about. So I just wanted to start today's show honoring a legend, honoring someone that who knows where the NFL is without Matt Snell. Who knows where the New York Jets are without Matt Snell. I'll tell you one thing for free. We don't win the Super Bowl without Matt Snell. He's one of the icons of this organization, and he is no longer with us, passing away at the age of 84. He is survived by his ex-wife, Sharon Snell, his son, Bo Snell, and his daughter, Jada Snell. All of those people are very much in our prayers. So, again, Matt Snell. There's a lot of exciting free agency stuff. We're going to get into all that here on the show, but I would, I'd be, whatever the word is, I would be silly not to have brought that up on the show today and to honor a legend. So we honor a legend. Thank you, Matt Snell, for everything you brought to the Jets and as a human being in your life. I heard Bo Snell told Rich Cimini in his piece that Matt Snell owned his own construction company for a long time, and he had been doing that construction company up until he was 74 years old. What a hard-nosed, hey man, I'm putting in the work. What a labor-intensive job to do that for as long as he did. So again, salute to Matt Snell. Now, I'll tell you guys, there's no proper way to transition from that sad, very sad story to what it is now. But but we will talk about some other topics here on the program. If you guys later, when we open up the phone lines, you have anything to say, you want to share anything about Matt Snell, feel free to do so. I'd love to hear stories. If any Jet fans want to tell stories about Matt Snell that they may have, feel free to do so. But we will be moving on to some other topics here on the program. I do want to give a shout out because I did see MFC right off the top rope gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Thank you, mother effing Chew. Appreciate it, you guys. If you guys enjoy the show, and I hope that the show provides you a lot of things. Hopefully, you guys can get a good laugh on the show. I hope that happens. I hope you guys can get some information. I try to research and bring a lot of things to the table in terms of that. So hopefully you can get information on the show. Hopefully that is beneficial in some way. Whatever the reason, I hope you're able to support the program, so feel free to do so. MFC, you join Nate Jets, Jared B., Jake Asman, David Neves, Hep in the 5 raffle ticket club, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That membership, by the way, went to, let's get that, Freak Turd Zero. You are now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Congratulations, sir. Now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. I do want to get into a variety of things. First off, if you guys are sitting in here, I see we have 300 people in the room, including 100 of those 300 on YouTube. Like that video, folks. That's a free way to contribute. And another celebration. We keep hitting milestones. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. And I'm losing track of what ones we've shouted out on the show, but let me hit this one with you. Here we go. We have surpassed 8,450 subscribers. We're 6 away from 8,460. Thank you guys for such the strong response and enjoying all the content here in free agency. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey now, baby. Harvey Bouchard Jr. is gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. I'm sensing a trade, baby. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Harvey. Yes. Yes. Harvey, that membership went to Jet Jaro in our audience. Shout out to Jet Jaro. There you go. Harvey Bouchard Jr. Let's put that on the docket, my friend. You have a raffle ticket to our contest. Thank you. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Feel free, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can hit that money sign and gift channel memberships or send in super chats or questions or whatnot. I appreciate that. Harvey, salute, sir. I want to get into the topic at hand here, which is the Jets signing Pro Bowl cornerback Nathan Wright of the Chicago Bears. Folks, I think this is one of the most interesting free agents that certainly the Jets have signed, but I mean of any free agent that was out there. I assume some of you may not know Nathan Wright's story out there in the audience. I am more than happy to share. Nathan Wright has had a wild journey in the National Football League. He's coming off a Pro Bowl season, best year of his career. It's not close. 6'4", incredible size. He signed a 1-year deal with a maximum value of $5.5 million with the Jets. He's listed at 6'4", 199 pounds. He's 27 years of age. The former Laney and Oregon State product is coming off the best year of his career. Last year with the Bears, he appeared in all 17 games. He made 16 starts, and he was a turnover monster. He had 5 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 11 pass deflections, 80 tackles. He was spectacular. But earlier this offseason, several people predicted, we think this team's going to do this. We think this team's going to do this. There was a man, his name is Greg Auman, A-U-M-A-N, NFL insider for NFL on Fox. And he predicted that the Jets would sign Nathan Wright. However, he predicted that the Jets would sign Nathan Wright on a 4-year deal for like $50-60 million. $16 million per year is what he thought the Jets were going to pay to land Nathan Wright. I saw other projections had him in the $50-60 million per year ballpark. He was supposed to get the bag. I'm glad he didn't, and I'll explain why in a second. But sometimes when you have a guy that has a small sample size and then they hit free agency, people run to pay him. And I thought he was going to get a lot more money. It's a 1-year deal, maximum value of $5.5 million. But people thought that he would get a $50-60 million deal. So, again, here's the Nathan Wright story, for those that don't know. He originally entered the league as the 99th overall pick in the third round of the 2021 NFL draft. He spent the first 3 years of his career with the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Okay, spent the first 3 years there. Heading into year number 4, in August of 2024, he was traded to the Minnesota Vikings in a player-for-player swap for Andrew Booth Jr., another corner out there. Nathan Wright did not play much for the Vikings that season. Think about this, right? On why he's just this interesting mystery bag of a free agent. Throughout the first 4 years of his career, 4 years, okay? Nathan Wright started a grand total of 3 games. 4 years, 3 games. He was on his way out of the league, if we're being honest. He didn't get many chances. He was drafted highly, got a few opportunities in different places, but that was it. And he looked like he was on his way out of the league. However, he got one last lifeline. In April of last year, April of 2025, the Bears signed Nathan Wright to a 1-year deal for the veteran minimum, $1.1 million. And then he delivered that Pro Bowl season I just talked about, where he appeared in 17 games, started 16 games, had 5 picks, had fumble recoveries, had forced fumbles, had 80 tackles. He delivered a spectacular season. He's the most interesting man in the world because he just came out of nowhere. And it goes to show you that there are players in our universe, in our grander universe, that never get a shot to be the guy. Nathan Wright, let's say he never gets a veteran minimum deal from Chicago. He's probably working at a pizza parlor or something. Nothing wrong with that. That's probably what he's doing. He probably never gets his shot, but he did get his shot, and he took advantage of it. And now the Jets signed him to a 1-year deal for $5.5 million max value. $3.5 million of that is guaranteed. And they get to get the best of both worlds. If Nathan Wright, so basically what the Jets are saying is, hey, man, can lightning strike twice in the same place? Can you be the same guy you were last year? If you can, the Jets or one of the other 31 teams in the league will pay you handsomely. If not, no harm, no foul, $3.5 million out the books. So he has an opportunity to cash in big time, and the Jets are the beneficiary because they get him at $3.5 million guaranteed. That's it. If it works out, he's going to get paid by the Jets or somebody else. We'll see. He's 27. He'll be 28 by fast forward a year from now. So we'll see if it's the Jets who are the ones that are paying him or not. But we'll save that conversation for a different day. And if it doesn't work out, who cares? It was $3.5 million. And I'm glad that the Jets added some more depth at corner because you have Brandon Stevens. He's going to be a starter for sure. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., he's probably going to be a starter in the slot. And then Azareye'h Thomas was the other penciled-in starter on the other side. And I like Azareye'h Thomas a lot. I do. But I don't think he showed enough last year where he's an unquestioned starter. So I'm glad that the Jets added another body to the room. If I had to pencil it in today, Nathan Wright's probably starting opposite of Brandon Stevens. But they're going to get a chance to compete. One of Aaron Glenn's favorite words. And Nathan Wright is now going to be their opposite. He has great size, obviously the ball skills, but was that just a random 1-year sample size, or does he have that in his game? TBD, we will see. So I think it was one of the best values of free agency. I love the Jets adding competition to the corner room, and to get a competition like this, like you see Reek Woolen, I saw he signed with the Eagles for a 1-year deal for like $15 million, and Reek Woolen has a lot of bugaboos. And then we got Nathan Wright for $3.5. Whew, okay. All right. Muji's cooking. Muji is cooking. So this was one of my favorite additions for the New York Jets this offseason. Absolutely, unequivocally, one of my favorites. Adds competition to the corner room. Very talented kid. You didn't have to gamble with crazy money, which I like. Because I would have, if this same deal would have happened, but it was like crazy money, I would have been very nervous. I would have told you all the exciting things about him, but I would have been very nervous. I'm like, oh, 1-year sample size. Like, I don't know. That seems aggressive because this guy was just a random guy. What we call in the league a jag, just a guy. Call him Jags in the league when you get those people. Just a guy. That's what he was, just a guy. But he proved last year, whoa, maybe he's not just a guy. Now he'll get a chance to prove it twice. If he does, he will get paid. So I love the Nathan Wright edition. I think it's one of the best editions the New York Jets made this offseason. And that one is that one's nice. Very nice. I see my boy Kinjo in here. Where is it? Guard next. Got Kinjo 23. I love the Itachi avatar. I always see you on Twitter, buddy. I don't know if I ever tell you this, but I love all your support. So thank you, Kinjo. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Twitter all the time. Thank you. Yes, guard is next for sure. Left guard. Left guard. ABT, gone. Patriot. Blah. John Simpson, gone. Baltimore. So we got to see what's happening at guard. What are the Jets going to do? Still a couple of big names. Again, free agency has happened so wild. I don't even know everyone who's still available. I have a bunch of guard names on my head, but I don't know how many of them are still hanging around out there. There's just been a lot of activity. It's been a whirlwind. But there does seem to be still some names out there that I like. I'm glad you brought it up. Rick Fieri, like Guy Fieri, but Ferdy, or Rick Ferdy, maybe, 6278. I love the Gino edition. People have been getting their jokes off on this Gino Smith situation. I'll tell you this, tomorrow morning, we're going to have the legendary Mo Moten on the show. He's a national writer for Bleacher Report and a diehard insider and analyst for the Las Vegas Raiders. He will be joining us live tomorrow morning on the show to talk Gino Smith, free agency, everything else that the Jets have done. But I'll tell you guys this. I know a lot of people have been getting their jokes off on Gino, and I've seen it like, Jets, LOL, Jets, LOL, Jets. I've seen Jet fans themselves saying, what a terrible addition to this team. Oh, we're going to hell. And, this season's going to suck. I think people that are saying that are nuts. I'm not saying Gino Smith is going to win MVP this year. I'm not saying that at all. But the people that say he's just booty cheeks, like I guess they just haven't been watching football the last couple of years. I don't want to say stunned because I guess anyone can make fun of the Jets at any time. I really like the Gino Smith edition. Now, was it at the top of my list? Candidly, no. I told you guys quarterbacks I wanted. I initially wanted Kirk Cousins. He didn't want us. Okay, move on. Derek Carr can make a lot of sense. Some hubbub. That's not going to happen. Oh, maybe Kyler Murray, but there's a lot of drama with Kyler Murray up, but that's not going to happen. And I will tell you, one of the reasons I didn't have Gino Smith higher on my list was one, of course, he's coming off a bad year. We could get into that. He led the league in picks. It was not a good year for Gino. Now, quite frankly, it wasn't a good year for the Raiders. I think the situation around Gino sucked, but that's neither here nor there. But the other reason why I didn't have Gino high on my list is because I didn't think it was likely. I didn't. Why didn't I? Well, I mean, if we're being honest, Gino Smith started his career with the Jets, which all of you know. There's his jersey I used to wear back in my teenage days in college, before I went to college. Or when I was in college, that was the last time this was going on. Gino was a Jet. And just getting out of high school and college was when Gino was a Jet. And I didn't think he'd come here because, let's be honest, it didn't go great the first time. 4 years with the Jets, and the most embarrassing of which is something that follows him to this day. I heard people cracking jokes about this on the Rich Eisen show yesterday, for God's sakes. Him getting sucker punched in a locker room and breaking his jaw. It was embarrassing. He had the starting job ripped away from him and got handed to Ryan Fitzpatrick, which for a lot of Jet fans, I imagine that 2015 year was a special year that we all hold very dearly, especially over the last 15 years where that's our only winning season in 15 years. So I imagine we look at 2015 very special. But there's just so many people that are clowning this, saying this is a stupid addition and this stinks. And I push back aggressively. I think Gino's going to be really good with the Jets. Now, last year, again, was bad. I admit that. It was not good for Gino last year. He led the league in picks. But I think people are totally overreacting. Look at the numbers of Gino Smith from 2022 to 2024. So Gino's with us. He gets drafted. He comes in 2013. He's here for 4 years. He doesn't perform very well. He has more interceptions and touchdowns. His completion percentage was 57%. It was not good. He leaves. After he leaves the Jets, he sort of leaves with his tail tucked between his legs because of the whole broken job situation. He came in, immediately became the starter, 8-8 his rookie year, was second in rookie of the year voting and all that, and then goes out like a whatever. And then he's just circling as a backup. He backs up Eli Manning, and then eventually ends his Ironman streak. He goes to the Chargers to back up Phillip Rivers. He then goes to the Seahawks to back up Russell Wilson. And in 2022, Gino Smith finally gets his shot. He finally gets his shot to be a full-time starter, and he was the comeback player of the year. You look at Gino Smith, the stats, and I wrote this in my piece yesterday. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up this stat, which, again, I just think people are overreacting to the terrible year that last year was. I really think so. And here are some of the numbers. This is from Zach Rosenblatt. Over a 3-year sample size. So, okay. Over the last 4 years, right? That's this. 2025 is the most recent of those 4 years. Let's put that year aside. Now let's look at these 3 years. Three out of the last 4 years. Gino Smith, league-wide, these rankings I'm about to say are from any quarterback over that 3-year sample size. Gino Smith has the 4th most passing yards of any quarterback from 2022 to 2024. He has the 8th most passing touchdowns of 2022 to 2024. He had the 3rd best completion percentage of any quarterback from 2022 to 2024. And he was first in lowest percentage of off-target throws, 7%, which just is another analytic to highlight how accurate Gino Smith was. Quite frankly, Gino Smith was a top 10 quarterback for 3 of the last 4 years. And then last year, he was bad, but the Raiders as an entire organization were bad. And people are telling me that Gino is just this bum and he's worse or the same than the quarterback situation we just had. You people are friggin' nuts. You people are friggin' nuts. And if that's your expectation, get ready to get surprised because Gino Smith is going to be way better than you think he is. And again, I didn't have him on my list because I didn't think it was realistic. I didn't think Gino would return to the place where one of the most embarrassing moments of his entire life occurred and people still talk about and people still write jokes about. That's why he wasn't higher on my list. Gino takes chances. Gino has matured a lot since he was just a kid coming in here as a 23-year-old. Don't believe me? Watch the 30-minute interview he did with Josina Anderson. So the news breaks, whoa, Jets are trading for Gino Smith. And we can explain the Gino Smith trade because I saw a lot of people were complaining about that too. I'm more than happy to explain why they traded for him or why I like that they traded for him. More on that in a minute. But Gino has changed a lot. And he had a 30-minute sit-down. The news breaks that he gets traded, and they joined Josina Anderson for a 30-minute interview on The Exhibit, her YouTube channel. And I watched every moment, and I transcribed all the quotes. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. We'll have to unpack that at some point. I would have done that today, but I wanted to give love to Matt Snell. And then there's the Nathan Wright thing, and we're talking about Gino tomorrow. So I'm trying to spread it all out. But he had a lot of very powerful quotes from his interview with Josina yesterday. And about having a chip on his shoulder, about aligning with AG, him having a chip on his shoulder, about coming back. He viewed it as a movie script. Gino wanted to come back here. That caught me off guard. I'm happy that he wanted to be here, but he chose to be here. And that I like. Now, let's get into the trade. I've seen a lot of people tweet at me, text me, email me, pigeon carrier, smoke signal me. Why the hell did we trade for Gino Smith, Paul? That doesn't make any sense. If he wanted to be here, why did we trade for him? We could have did this. We could have done this. Let me explain it in the simplest terms. Okay. The Jets obviously identified this offseason that Gino Smith was the quarterback they wanted. And everything was set for Gino Smith to be cut today at 4 o'clock. The new league year, by the way, kicks off at 4 o'clock today. The most important of those notes, as I'm running all over the place with different things, is that like the Jermaine Johnson trade will be officially announced today at 4 o'clock. Any Jet signing that has taken place can become official at 4 o'clock. Any new contracts, the new league year is off. Okay. Anywho, just to throw that out there. Gino Smith was set to be cut by the Raiders today at 4 o'clock. And he could have signed with the team at 4:01. Now, while he wanted to go to the Jets, by all accounts, from his own words, I don't know, you hit the open market and teams can whisper sweet pleasantries into your ears. I don't know. Anything can happen. And then maybe Gino can get wooed by another team. So if you're the Jets and Gino Smith is your number one guy, and you have a chance to get him, and you could trade for him in advance and guarantee that you get your guy, why the hell wouldn't you? Because here is what it cost in the trade. Here is what it cost in the trade. Okay? Here's what it cost. 20 spots. The Jets flipped a 6th-round pick to the Raiders for a 7th-round pick, and they got Gino Smith. The Jets moved all of 20 spots in the draft to ensure that they got Gino Smith 100% as opposed to 99%. Who gives a shit? 20 spots? Most of you don't even care about the 6th or 7th round, if I'm being honest. So who cares about 20 spots? That's inconsequential. Now, the Jets are paying a little bit more money. The veteran minimum was $1.3 million. The Jets are paying Gino Smith this season $3.3 million. Now, that's more than 1.3, obviously. That's the math of it. But who cares? To get a starting quarterback for $3.3 million is an insane deal. Gino was owed $18.6 million in fully guaranteed money from the Raiders this year, which set him up to get the league minimum from the Jets or any team that was his next team. Now, instead of getting $18.6 million, he's getting $19.6 million. So the Jets are giving him, quote unquote, a raise. He's getting the money from the Raiders, and he's getting a little bit of a raise from the Jets. But who cares? We're talking about $1 million, $3.3 million. Who cares? I don't give a shit. So the draft is only 20 spot difference. Who gives a shit? It's at the end of the draft. You guarantee you get your guy. You're paying him a little bit more money, but in the grand scheme of things, if I stacked up and I'll wait until all the quarterbacks get officially paid and we see where Gino Smith ranks in the highest paid quarterbacks in the league at $3.3 million, I imagine he's like 28th or something, for God's sake. Even rookies. Fernando's going to make more money this year than Gino Smith is. So, like, to me, like, come on. Come on. I don't care about any of that at all. As long as the Jets got their guy, that's most important. Because what if you say to yourself, oh, we'll get Gino. He'll just get cut. We don't have to give up shit. And what if the Vikings make a play for him? And then Kyler goes somewhere else, and all of a sudden, we're playing musical chairs, and the Jets go to sit down, and, oh, shit, we don't have a quarterback anymore. Well, that looks pretty bad now, doesn't it? So to avoid the chance of that, no matter how unlikely it was, you have to give up 20 spots from the 6th to the 7th round and pay $1 million more in an offseason where you had the 4th most cap space in the league. I don't give a crap, man. I don't give a crap. So, and I would have felt differently because if the Jets got a little panicky and then the Raiders didn't pay as much. So that, I guess that's the other piece of it that I didn't say out loud, but you can sort of connect the dots. The Raiders owed Gino Smith $18.6 million. So whether they cut him or anything, they owed him that money. Okay. The Jets said, you know what? F cutting him, we'll trade for him. And the Raiders paid the majority of his salary this year. So the Jets only had to pay $3.3 million. If the Raiders would have made the Jets pay $5 million, $10 million, $50 million, that's where it would have been desperation. That's where I would be giving the Jets a little bit more heat for panicking. But I don't have to because the Raiders paid the bulk of the salary. It worked out for everyone. Okay. Gino got a little bit more money for himself. Check off the bucket list. Jets ensure they got their guy. Check off the bucket list. And the Raiders moved a little higher in the draft and paid a little less. It literally worked out for everyone. So I have no issue with the Jets doing that. Anyone who does is an idiot out there in the universe. You guys are losing your marbles. You're complaining for nothing. The Jets just ensured they got their guy. And there's a lot more people that are against this Gino Smith thing than I would have thought. Apparently, it's going to be me and Gino Smith on this island and a few others that want to join in. I think Gino's going to be really good for the Jets this year. The Jets have a solid offensive line. They have Breece Hall on the franchise tag. They have Garrett Wilson. They have Mason Taylor. And there's more to be done. There's still more free agency to happen. There's still more draft picks. They still have 4 picks in the top 44. You figure out left guard. That's going to happen. The defense is massively improved over what it was last year just on paper, let alone what else is going to happen. I think Gino's going to surprise a lot of people. He has a chip on his shoulder. He has redemption on his mind. He wants to give back. And for people, again, that are asking about the Gino Smith interview, you could probably just find it if you YouTube search, and I also wrote a few columns about it, and it's hyperlinked. So if you go to any of my columns I wrote about Gino Smith, the most recent one is his message to haters, basically. I link Josina Anderson at the beginning of that interview, and that can take you right to our YouTube channel. You guys can subscribe and watch the whole thing there. Or if you just type in Gino Smith, the exhibit interview, it should pop up there as well. It's a 30-minute interview. You should see him sitting down with Josina Anderson. So I highly recommend that interview. Absolutely recommend. It was fresh. Again, trade happens moments later. Good for Josina. Great scoop by her to have that interview. 15 years, Jay says. Solid O-line? No, not yet. I disagree. 4 of our 5 offensive line positions are locked in outside of 1. That sounds pretty solid to me. I know some of you hate Josh Myers' guts, but he was the starting center all of last year. If they can upgrade, great. If they can't, okay. Not everyone on the offensive line is to be a superstar, so I push back on the questions about the offensive line. I do. Mark Sacchetti, BG, you need to root out what's up with Brian Thomas Jr. and the Jaguars. Is it just a personality issue? Good question. I've been doing some research into it. I know a bunch of people down there in Jacksonville. Yeah, I can't ascertain why Brian Thomas Jr. and Liam Cohen have this weird relationship. I have no idea. The Jaguars' current brass did not draft Brian Thomas Jr. Gladstone wasn't there. Liam Cohen wasn't there. So sometimes it's just that. He did have drops. Maybe that broke trust with people in the organization. And then they said, oh, because like his targets were way down too, from year 1 to year 2. So with some of the drops, they go, we don't trust this guy anymore. And then he gets pissed. I don't. Now I'm just trying to connect dots and try to figure out what's going on. So yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I just know there was drops. And I know he had a great year 1, a questionable year 2, and now they're apparently willing to trade him, although Adam Schefter had a conflicting report. Envelet says, happy to see you arrive on my Geno Island, BG. Well, I'm glad to be there, to be honest with you. Again, the reason, candidly, the reason I didn't have Geno Smith higher on my island, on my list, is because I just thought he would never come here with the Joss situation. Like some people would avoid that. He avoided talking about it in stories, rightfully so, anytime it came up, that he openly chose to come back here. And again, he talked about with this Josina Anderson interview how much he wanted to be back, how he loved to be back. Aaron Glenn got on the phone with him and sold him on the vision and the movie script that he talks about in his office. He has all the pictures of him getting drafted, and he looks at it every day, and he's so thankful for his New York journey, whether the ups and downs. Like, man, there's so much that fires me up, quite frankly, about Gino. It doesn't have to fire you guys up in the audience. If you don't vibe with it, no problem. Don't get on the train or get off the train. So, yeah. And I would just say the other benefit is to paying your starting quarterback only $3.3 million gives you plenty of opportunities to build around the rest of the team, man. And that I think is pretty exciting. Let's do this. We have 600 people in the room. Appreciate that, including 180 of the 600 here on YouTube. Thank you very much. If you guys are just joining us here and you missed the Nathan Wright conversation, which is the headline of this video, there is an article in the YouTube description down below. You guys can certainly check that out if you're just joining us here on the show and catch up on my conversation of why I think he's one of the most interesting free agent additions. We only have 68 likes, yet there's nearly 200 people in the room. You guys like that video? That's a free way to contribute to the show. We're on live every single day at 7:30 in the morning. So feel free, hit that like button. Also, subscribe, baby. We're 6 subscribers away from 8,460. We're trying to climb to 10,000 as quickly as possible. And as Philium says, tell a friend. If you're already subscribed to the channel, get your brother, your sister, your cousin, your gardener, your nephew to subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/@BoyGreen25. Let's go. Let's get a super chat shout out, and then we'll open up the phone lines here on the program. Let's go to my buddy Luca, who was at our tailgate last year. Luca's the best, baby. Love Luca.
Wow.
Member for 13 months on the channel. Appreciate that. Muji is cooking. This is finally going to turn. Yeah, I'm very excited about what they've done so far. Again, there's still more hay to be put in the barn. You got to figure out left guard. You still need a receiver opposite of Garrett Wilson. You got your quarterback now. They're going to start working immediately on backup quarterback. That's an important piece of the puzzle. I like what they did. Defensive tackle feels pretty done to me on that side of the ball. You could use another linebacker. You could use another safety. You could use more pass rush. Obviously, place kicker is another one. Nick Folk's gone, so that's sad. So you got to look over at that. So there's still a handful of positions they have to address. But the good news is they have plenty of money still left. They got draft picks, which, by the way, let me see if I have the current. Let me see. I believe. Okay. Let me make sure. I'll check this. We're checking this live, I guess, to make sure that this is correct. Yes. So, folks, let me show you guys this real quick. This graphic on your screen is the updated draft assets post Gino Smith trade. Okay. This is post Gino Smith trade. So these are the updated draft picks. For our audio only listeners, I'll read them out to you here in just a second. There was a slight change to all of these draft picks. The Jets also got 2 comp picks. I'll explain that in a second. Here is the treasure chest of draft picks that Darren Muji has at his disposal for April. And again, this graphic on the screen includes the update that was just made with the Geno Smith trade where you swap some picks around. So the Jets, of course, have 2 first-round picks, 2nd overall, 16th overall. They have 2 second-round picks, 33rd overall, 44th overall. The Jets have the 103rd overall pick, which they had on their own. They got a comp pick. There's the 140th overall pick for losing DJ Reed. Very nice. They have the 179th overall pick. Nice little comp pick there from losing Morgan Moses. They have a 6th-round draft choice, 194th overall. And they now have 2 7th-round picks because they traded back with the Raiders. They have 228th overall that they got from the Raiders and then 241st overall. Those are the picks the Jets have. This is their treasure chest. They have 10 picks overall in this draft, and those are all of them. They do not have a 3rd-round pick because, damn you, Hassan Reddick, the Philadelphia Eagles. So those are your draft assets. I've tweeted out that picture, so you guys can save that if you want on your phones. Unless there's other trades, we'll have to keep updating that treasure chest. But the Jets have 10 picks. 10 picks in the 2026 NFL Draft. Let me answer a comment, then we'll open up the phone lines. Darren McCollum says there will be a quality guard in the 4th round. Sure, maybe that's where they wait. Maybe they do that. Maybe they go aggressive, get Vega at 16th overall. Greg Rallo, why didn't Mooj sign Folk? Twofold. He went to a dome team in Atlanta. I think that was attractive to Nick. Number 2, he got a 2-year deal. Thomas Morstead, who's joined me countless times on this show in the past, he talked about how important financial security is. Not that Thomas Morstead or Nick Folk, for that matter, are struggling to put food on the table for their family. But when you get to this stage of your career, people that can commit longer they like. So that was really it. And as Rich Cimini pointed out, Eddie Pinheiro and Nick Folk, Eddie Pinheiro is the 49ers kicker, and Nick Folk had the same field goal conversion last year, 28 of 29 on their field goals. And Eddie Pinheiro received a 4-year deal for $17 million. Rich Cimini believes that money coming in, even though there's an 11-year age gap between those two guys, raised the money, got the long term for a kicker deal, and that's why he didn't sign him. He wanted to sign him, but Rich Cimini said he was surprised at the immediate interest that Nick Folk garnered. So, unfortunately, for those reasons, it's going to happen. I would have loved him to be a Jet, so unfortunately not. But I would say this. If there's anyone to trust on this Jets team, Jets roster, Jets coaching staff to replace Nick Folk, it'd be Chris Bancho. Chris Bancho did a spectacular job. And Nick Folk joined us at the end of training camp, remember. It wasn't in free agency. It wasn't around the draft. It was in freaking late training camp. It was like July 29th is when we added Nick Folk, who had the spectacular year. So I trust Chris Banjo to find a suitable replacement. Our punter's great in Austin McNamara. Our gunners are great. They're all back. Keep an eye out for this in the return game. Are the Jets able to bring back Kene Nguanu? I'd love Kene back. They still have Isaiah Williams, thankfully. So I'd like Kene back if we can. I would like Kene back if we can. That would be a sneaky re-sign I would like to see from the Jets. We'll see if that can happen. All right, we have over 600 people in the room now. Again, guys, like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute. We'll open up the phone lines for a little bit, and we will be back on live. I'm not leaving, but we will be back on live at 11 o'clock to talk about the latest with the Max Crosby trade. The Ravens pulled out. Whoa, pause, by the way. Sorry for how bluntly I said that. They could pull out of the trade? That's a thing? And apparently it was a failed physical, but it wasn't a failed physical. Oh, boy, all kinds of drama. We'll get into that. NFL insider Matt Lombardo joined us live on this network at 11 o'clock. Good Lord have mercy. But let's do this. We'll play a quick half timeout. If you want to call in and talk about free agents, your favorite free agent, you have a question for me, you just want to throw something out there in the universe, all of that is welcome. YouTube.com/@BoyGreen25. That's about to be the pinned comment on YouTube.com/BoyGreen25. And we'll be right back after this.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. The New York Jets football club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone,
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Let's go!
Let's go. You heard the Hep Man. Let's roll. I see a couple of immediate questions, a couple of quickies here. Ricky New York Live says, BG, I'm hearing rumblings now that Jason Pinnock may be coming back. I did get a text about that last night. Someone showed me the tweet that he tweeted out 2 jet emojis, 2 plain jet emojis. And by the way, if he does, let's keep adding bodies to the safety room. We have Dane Belton, Minka Fitzpatrick, Malachi Moore. Let's add Jason Pinnock. Let's draft a safety. Let's have that room robust because it was anything but last year. So I'd love Jason Pinnock. I think he's a really nice player and another Jets reunion. It's the off season of Jets reunion. Sure, Jason Pinnock, you come back. Hell, let's bring them all back. I'd take Joe Namath back. I mean, well, let's go. Yeah, sure. Yes, yeah. Troy Sturgis says, is there a free agent guard that you would like to sign? I believe this guy's still out here. Let me do a quick Google search to make sure before I say it. I think so. Okay, let me see with all the crazy free agency stuff. Yeah, it looks like he has not signed yet. Okay, so Joel Bitonio is the guy I would like. He's a little bit older. He's 34. He'll turn 35 during the 2026 season. But again, age does not seem to be a fear for the New York Jets. Plug and play. We need a guard. Now, it'd be perfect if we had an Olu Muiwa or Armand Membu at guard, and they're just here for 10 years. If that falls from the heavens, great. But we need a guard for right now. Joel Bitonio is one of the best guards in all of football. And yet people are going to look at it similar to Nick Folk in a different way. People look at Nick Folk and said, you old bastard, you're not going to get a shot. And then the Jets were able to get him late in training camp. And then all of a sudden he proved, he still has gas left in the tank. Now, Joel Bitonio isn't as old as Nick Folk, but, Nick Folk plays kicker and Joel Bitonio plays guard. So take that for what you will. I'd sign Joel Bitonio today. Plug and play him at left guard and let's go to war, Balake. I would love that. So give me that possibility. So, yeah, he's a guard I like, but there's actually a lot of guards I like out there. So I'm curious how the market sort of plays out here. Mooch has the temperature. Let's hope that he gets the right guy in here and gets him for the right price. But, yes, I always say this. If I was ever running a team as a general manager, I want to fill as many holes in free agency as possible so I could go to the draft with full flexibility. So if a surprise happens at a certain point, I'm like, I could take him. I filled my other things. When you're like, if the Jets don't do anything at left guard and they have this massive gaping pothole in the offensive line, hope that the Jets cover as many holes as possible to keep other teams on the loosey-goosey to not know what the hell we're doing. So I would prefer that the Jets find a way to make that happen, personally. So let's see if they can sign a guard. Let's go to the phone lines here, people. We have plenty of people that want to call into the show. It's been a very busy couple of free agency days, and technically free agency hasn't even started yet, and there's been all this craziness. Let's go to him with the beautiful coffee mug. Boosh! Shakalaka. Look at that, the Instant Coffee Club. Pep, what's up, Pep?
Oh, I just want to give my shout out to Matt Snell.
Of
I mean,
course.
we both, me, you, and Bob, we both pushed for him to fix this thing. And, I remember posting on my different social medias and trying to get the Jets to shame them into like, to
Mhm.
doing it. And, you let these opportunities go, and it's almost like in life, tell people you love them when you have a chance. Don't like, oh, fuck, they're dead now. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and
So
I've said this before, Hep, and I said it. Unfortunately, well, I said it whatever. Unfortunately, fortunately, put it whatever way you want. When Matt Snell was alive, I said this, and I reiterate it in his death. One of my biggest pet peeves on the planet is posthumously saying, that Matt Snell guy, that guy, and then finally honoring the person that you could have done when they were alive.
I
So
know.
the Jets wrote a very nice piece, and thank you for doing that on the website. And why wouldn't you? He's a Super Bowl legend and hero. And
Yeah.
I imagine maybe this season they're going to slap Matt Snell stickers on the helmet and say, "Hey, here's for him." I just wish there could have been something. We know as much of the details as we know from Matt's words of the audio that Bob
Right.
Lederer released and hearing what the problems were. I just wish that sometimes there's just, you know, sometimes when you're fighting with someone and you're fighting for someone for so long, you're like, what were we even fighting about? Like, I just wish someone was the bigger person. And I'm not blaming it on Snell. I'm not blaming on Woody. Just someone stepped in and just said enough. And the Jets probably should have been the one to do that as the billion-dollar organization to come and say, you know what? I don't know what happened. It was previous ownership, but I want to make this right and just boom, make it right. I wish that would have happened. Unfortunately, it did not. I'm curious what happens now. Again, Matt Snell has two beautiful children.
Yeah.
Wonder if they bring them to a Jets game and try to honor them. If that's something Jada and Bo would be open to, I don't know. I don't know if there's any way to make it right. We've talked about maybe Bo or Jada could get hired if they were interested, and that's a way to honor Matt. That would be a beautiful gesture. They're falling on millions and millions of dollars. I know they have a lot of my money. I buy hats and shirts every gosh darn day. So there's going to be money sitting around somewhere, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So to bring them in is like, even like they have these cool charity programs, or they have like ambassadors that
exactly.
Like, I just feel like there's a meaning for 100%. And you're giving someone a job. Why not one of them? You do something good for the community. You good something.
Yeah. That was the job. That was the job Matt was promised. That's what we talked about. He said, give one of his grandsons, or whoever his family is, find them a spot in the organization, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Maybe that could have mended it, but who knows? It's a shame when you let these things go by like this.
100%.
It's kind of like bad business too. I mean, it would have been good publicity, especially last year with that mess we had. It could have been, we could have shown a little bit of, okay, let's respect our past. I mean, where were we going last year anyway? That would have been a good diversion.
I feel like it's just a good human thing to do, let alone all the other benefits that exist. You're right. People would have covered it. ESPN, New York Post, they would have run to love to cover the story of Matt Snell finally getting, his moment in the sun. Woody Johnson, he can use all the PR help he can get of positive things that are going on. So yeah, that's again, very disappointing. 84 is a long life, and I'm glad that Matt Snell got that. A lot of people don't get that kind of life. Especially
after a career in football.
Oh, that's 1,000%. He retired at 31 because of injury. So, again, I'm just because you've been around for a long time does not make it any easier on his ex-wife or his two children. Obviously, they've lost a dearly loved one here. But I hope Matt Snell had the wonderful life that he, deserved, and 84 years on this planet. Hopefully, that's something he really appreciated, and we all appreciated about him being here and his impact on this organization.
Yeah, thanks for the Super Bowl, Matt.
Yeah,
peace 100%. Out.
Appreciate it, Hap. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. And we'll see. We'll also be getting to a special guest, I see. Will be coming up on the show in just a little bit. We'll get to him when an appropriate time presents itself. Let's go next on the phone lines here. Johnny Boy joins us here on the program. Johnny?
Hey, BG. Good morning, man. How you holding up?
I'm all right, man. I woke up this morning, which, again, you can't take for granted.
100%, man. Hey, first off, real dope that you took the time to be able to talk about Matt Snell and what he meant to the organization, because you're completely right. If there was no Matt Snell, the Super Bowl doesn't happen for the New York Jets, right? So I really haven't been seeing a lot of it being really talked about, right? Like I thought maybe like SNY would kind of do something or to that nature of itself, but Really cool that you did that, man. So that's dope. May he rest in power. And hey, doesn't he have a son
He does.
or a
He has two
grandson or
children.
whatever?
Yeah, he has two
That
children, Bo Snell and Jada Snell. He has a son and a daughter.
wasn't there, but like I thought there was like a grandkid. Is it a grandkid or maybe the son
I
that
believe
was
so. I don't have
involved?
that information, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but anyways, the
Yeah.
Gino Smith is why I came on here, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that interview when you saw him on there, right? I
Mhm.
was like, he has something to prove, man. So, am I excited about it? I mean, excited about any of the quarterbacks that were in the carousel to be able to get picked? You know what I mean? Like, probably not. So, but why not? Why not it be a guy that was drafted by the Jets that could potentially make us have a competent quarterback in the backfield for us, man, as a signal caller. So it'll be intriguing. I do want to see who else are they going to pick up as the other vet, because they pretty much were saying that they're going to kind of go the route of the Giants did, right, where they had like the two vets and then the rookie there. I wouldn't mind Andy Dalton, and I know that's been Snowball's guy, right? So shout out to Snowball. But yo,
Sure.
bring the red rifle over here as well. You know, he has. I'd rather see him over Wentz, if I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like,
You would see whoever wins?
the red rifle, Andy
Oh,
Dalton.
Dalton. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whichever other person I'm going to say is going to excite anybody when I say that. So,
Well, I think, and I say this, and hopefully everyone else says this, is I hope whoever this backup is, get a quality backup, because it's good to have a quality backup. But hopefully, whoever it is, like we never see them. I hope not. I hope whoever a starter is, and it appears to be Gino by all accounts. I hope Gino starts a whole season. I never want to see this backup, wherever the hell it is.
100%. I mean, I think with Wentz, he has all that negativity that's come behind him and everything, you know, in the sense of like there's teammates that have come out, talk really bad about him, et cetera, et cetera. That has to hold some type of weight in the locker rooms, right? Like they must talk amongst each other. So if you're trying to build up the culture, like, do you want to bring that in to that locker room itself? You know, I don't know. That's why I've been out on Wentz, man. I don't want that dude, even though, I mean, his body gave up on him last year. You know, you guys saw it. Like he crumbled, bro. Like it started just giving out. I don't know.
Well, let me just tell you this real quick, because I see this from Jake Asman. So let's get this super chat in. He's giving a special shout out, which we can only appreciate. So here's Jake.
Wow.
Eugene Cyril Smith III, Jets football. Smell it. He, of course, is referencing Gino Smith's full name, if you don't know that out in the audience. And I just want to say this. I want to put this out in the universe because Jake asked if I was doing drugs when I put this statement out there. And I tweeted this out. I tweeted out this statement after Gino Smith was traded. Gino Smith is going to end the Jets' 15-year playoff drought in 2026.
But I choose to believe that it is. I believe. I believe. I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe Geno Smith is going to do it, baby. He is better than people think he is, and he's going to he's excited about playing with Garrett Wilson, which he should be. Breece Hall, this offensive line. Geno Smith's going to end the playoff drought, baby. He is the chosen one. He's the guy that brings us back.
I believe.
See?
I believe.
Doesn't that feel better?
Hey,
to
man,
say
let it be Gino. Yeah. Why not? How awesome of a story would that be for us, right?
Yeah.
Like this dude comes in again. I can tell you expectations with him. I just want him to help us score some touchdowns and get over 150 yards a game. It would be nice. It's way better than what we've have than what we had last year. Better than Justin Fields. Better than Brady Cook. It's a question mark with Bailey Zappi.
Yeah. Come on.
So when you look into that quarterback room and you're like, that quarterback room, Gino Smith, I'm going to go Gino Smith every single time.
100%.
Right? So,
and shout out to Cromartie Jr. I see you out there, Spyro. He's out there in the Twitter streets. And when we make the playoffs with Gino, the streets are done, LOL. And he has autographed Gino Smith jersey. Gino sent him a special note. They had, I'll let him tell the story one day if he ever calls in about how he interacted with Gino Smith on social media. Gino sent him an autographed jersey, which was super cool. So, hey, the OG Gino guy is Spyro out there, Cromartie Jr. So 100%, baby. He's going to do it. I know it.
But BG,
yeah,
I wanted to ask you this, and this was my question in regards to
yes.
What's the next position in free agency that they should attack other than guard?
Other than guard. I don't love the receivers out there, to be honest. And I don't think I've talked about this before. I don't love the receivers, and I don't think the receivers love us. Like Mike Evans wasn't coming. I know he's off the board. Romeo Dobbs probably wasn't coming. He's off the board. He goes to New England. There's a bunch of receivers out there that Alec Pierce, like I just didn't think they were coming here. We didn't have a quarterback, and I don't blame them for not choosing to come here. So wide receiver, I'm either trading, which we will talk about in the future, or drafting. So I put that aside. The other one I'm probably getting, the next one is I'd like another linebacker, to be honest. We've got Sherwood, which we'll see if he stays. We have Demario Davis, obviously. I'd like a third linebacker. Explore the linebacker market, see who's out there. I wouldn't be mad at another edge rusher. I'm glad we got the corner, Nathan Wright, who I like a lot. I wouldn't be mad at another safety. Ricky, New York, was bringing up Jason Pinnock earlier. So those are a couple. But my next one, gun to my head, if it's not guard, would be linebacker.
So Leo Chanel's still out there, right? He hasn't.
No, he's gone. He signed. My God, who did he sign with? He signed a 3-year deal with somebody. I think maybe the Commanders. Let me double check that. Let me see. Leo Chanel. He signed with. With the Commanders, 3-year deal.
Nice. So he's out here in Virginia area now, but.
Yeah, I don't think just real quick on the linebacker, I don't think it's going to be a Leo Chanel level name. Maybe it is, but I think it's going to be lower level name. But still, I would still do it to bring in some more insurance in the linebacker room.
How wild situation right now with the Ravens stuff?
I get the alert and I'm like, what? Like you can do that? And people are like, yeah, if you fail physical. And I'm like, yes, I understand if you fail physical, a trade can fall through. I'm not an idiot. But the way that it was framed said they pulled out. Like, that they said, nah, we good. And I'm like, you could do that? Because if you could do that after the fact, I would do that with so many fantasy football trades I've ever been in where I'm like, actually, I'm out. What do you mean you're out? You already agreed. I'm like, nah, I'm out. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm looking forward to at 11 o'clock today, NFL insider Matt Lombardo's joining us, and I want answers, man. Like, what the flying hoot? Because, like, to me, it doesn't feel like it was a failed physical. It feels like that is the excuse, but that doesn't feel real. It feels like they're making up bullshit. It sounds like the Ravens are having buyer's remorse that they chose to do it, and then they get cold feet, and they're like, oh, I don't know if we should have done this. And then when Max Crosby came in for the physical, they're like, yeah, you go to a mechanic. Yeah, sorry, Johnny, your kerfluffle exploded, and well, we can't do anything without the kerfluffle, so unfortunately it's going to cost you $5 million. What? I just came in for an oil change. Max Crosby coming in. Geez, your kerfloppian lober on your knee. It was out of kilter. I'm afraid this trade is off. Like, he's like, huh? What? My kerfloppian what? So that's what I think happened. Yeah.
And BG, and if it was the New York Jets and that happened to us, it would be everywhere, bro. But because it's the Ravens and the Raiders, it's not being talked about as much.
Thank God that didn't happen to us. Could you imagine we do, oh my God, we got Max Crosby. Yeah. Just kidding. The trade's canceled. Like, wait, what? It's canceled. I can't even imagine where my brain would go. I'm thankful that did not happen to us. We've had enough shit happen to us over the years. Thank God. I can't even imagine. Crazy.
100%. Well, BG, I appreciate you again, man. Rest in power, Matt Snell. It's awesome that you did that. Another one is gone, man. There's a lot of guys that are still alive. I mean, Earl Christie's still out there. He talks about it all the time. I was able to meet Earl Christie. I was able to meet Jim Richards, a couple of the players from the actual Super Bowl III. Joe Namath is still out there as well, man. So, hey, man, these guys are going from that team. And just, you never know. Just like what Hep said, you never know. All right, and you said it as well. So, that being said, man, hey, smash the like, hit the sub. Let's go, Jets.
Appreciate you. There he is, Johnny Boy, joining us here on the program. We have 700 people in the room watching the show. Appreciate it. Again, like the video, that is free to do. Subscribe to the channel as we continue to make our chase to 10,000 subscribers here if you enjoy the show. Speaking of Matt Snell, there's no better person to come on to talk about Matt Snell than the person I was referencing earlier, the person I wrote about earlier, the person that wrote Beyond Broadway, Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. He is set to join us on Friday, but I'm glad that he decided to join us early to talk about this very sad news of Matt Snell no longer being with us. He passed away at the age of 84 at an assisted living home on Long Island. Bo Snell, his son, told ESPN's Rich Cimini. We bring on now that very author over my left shoulder, Bob Lederer, here on the show. Good morning, Bob.
I was about to tell you that your headset was blocking my book.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now it's very much in focus. So Bob, good morning. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, good morning. Let me tell you first a little bit about their signing yesterday.
Chicago
is not happy.
Chicago, yeah, right.
Chicago is not happy that they lost Nathan Wright.
Nice.
Ben Johnson really liked him a lot, and for some reason, the Bears were not willing to go to the $5.5 million that he signed for. But I sent you a note yesterday because you were searching. How much money did AVT get guaranteed by New England?
Oh, I saw that.
See what that was?
I did.
$6 million for 3 years.
Yeah, and I haven't, because of all the craziness of everything else, had a chance to write about it in the story. But the New England Patriots, so there's $6 million guaranteed, which is like, whoa, that seems crazy small. And they made NFL history with his contract. And again, I'll write about this and get more into the details later. But essentially, his per game roster bonus is $250,000 throughout the entire contract. So just think about that. So he signed a 3-year deal, $250,000 times 17, and then times that 3 times. Like, that math of the money just means that they're basically, what they're doing is AVT is clearly betting on himself, and the Patriots saying, we're not paying league unless you're healthy. A per game roster bonus would indicate that he'd be healthy for each of those games. So, oh my good, I can't believe AVT signed that. Good for the Patriots, which I hate, because I hate the Patriots that they got AVT to sign that. So, like,
is that bonus? BG,
yeah.
Is that bonus money? Because that works out to like $4.5 million a year for if he plays every game.
Right, plus his other money, though, right? So that's
plus the $14 million a year.
Yeah, right. So
wow.
Yes, yeah. So yeah,
that must have been maybe that was the poison pill. Well, maybe
Perhaps.
It's not much of a poison pill because, look, he wasn't going to re-sign with the Jets.
I don't think so.
So they could have offered him anything. But when you see that the Giants, couldn't meet his demands and the Raiders didn't meet his demands, and yet he signed this kind of a contract, my first reaction was $6 million guaranteed. Any team in the league should have been crazy not to sign him for that.
Yeah.
And even for what you just detailed about, a bonus per game, that still is worth it if the guy can really play. And the guy is a terrific player.
I agree. If you're New England and if he's healthy, you think he's an all-pro player probably, like everyone else does, and so you'd have no problem here. We have no problem paying that money if you're healthy. Great. That takes the risk out of it, to be honest with you, because the reason I would assume the Jets were hesitant to sign AVT, and he didn't want to stay here either, is that he can't stay healthy. So if you were going to sign him to a deal that had guaranteed money, that would be very risky. So screw the Patriots. That's unfortunate. Like I said, I'll cover get even more into the contract details about it, but that's wild. And now another storied chapter in the Jets-Patriots history of players and coaches swapping places gets another chapter in 2026.
Well, okay, so let me get into the real reason I called in, which is, of course, the passing of Matt Snell.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you some exclusives this morning. I frankly, I've been in touch trying to reach out to all the other podcasters and say, hey, if you want to talk about Matt and such, I'm as well versed about it as anybody.
Yes.
And in fact, I'm a little late to you this morning because I was on with Boomer and Gio briefly.
Ooh, nice.
Not on video, but on audio, and got a good 7-8 minutes, which is great. I got a call about 40 minutes ago from a gentleman named Gary DiFilippo. Who the heck is Gary DiFilippo? Mm-hmm. Gary DiFilippo was Matt Snell's best friend in Jersey City. Mm. He owned a corner, like a bodega, a grocery store or whatever, and Matt went in there for coffee every single day. And Gary is the one who put me and Matt together. And Gary is the one who convinced Matt to talk to Bob. He wants to do a story about you and your teammates. It's not about the Jets as a team. It's about you and your teammates. And Matt grudgingly came on and talked with me, and we ended up talking very extensively, as everybody knows. Gary called me this morning because he tried to get on Boomer and Gio, and they wouldn't let him go on. They didn't know who he was and what the heck. But anyway, he told me a story this morning about the Jets and Matt that I did not know. Ooh, and this apparently occurred about 5 or 6 years ago. Gary was in a bar with one of his best friends who was buddies with Woody Johnson. And his buddy was on the phone with Woody Johnson. And his buddy said, hey, Gary DiFilippo is sitting next to me. You know who he is? And apparently Woody knew who he was, put him on the phone, and they talked just very briefly. But Woody said to Gary, can you help me get Matt back in the fold, back in the family? I will do, literally, quote, I will do anything.
Wow.
To get Matt back in the family. So we've been really criticizing, and I'm as guilty as anybody, of the Jets and Woody not getting off his, altar, his high horse to try to do something. But he promised he would do anything. Gary took it upon himself. This is where the story gets weird. Gary, the next morning, went over to Matt, knocked on his door, and said, Matt, can I talk to you? Matt said, sure, come on in, Gary. He said, listen, I talked to Woody last night. I didn't plan it. It just worked out this way. And Woody offered you, and he made this up on this, out of his head. He offered you $100,000 a year PR job, and all you got to do is show up here and there for some Jet events. Woody had made no such promise, but he had said, I'll do anything. So Gary decided to say, okay, let's see what we can do. And he said, Matt, come on, $100,000 a year to do PR for the Jets? And Matt said, forget about it. I haven't talked to those guys in 50-something years. This is 5 or 6 years ago after the Super Bowl celebration, the 50th anniversary. Right. I haven't talked to them in 50 years. I don't see any reason to talk to them now. And Gary worked him over and tried to get him $100,000. How can you turn down $100,000? And Matt did. So Matt's mind was made up. And this is important for your listeners to hear, because I know Hep in particular has been really strong about trying to get the two sides together, as I have been. But Hep really was trying to figure any way, let's get Rich Eisen involved. Let's get these people involved. Matt had really made up his mind. Now, I contacted all the living Jets and a number of their still surviving spouses last night. I counted last night, there were less than 12 players still alive from that team.
Wow.
It's really an end of an era, because Joe is really the only one of note for anybody to recognize. The stars, Winston Hill and Don Maynard and George Sauer and Jerry Philbin and such are gone. And the only guys that are really left are Emerson Boozer, who's in very bad shape with CTE, from what I understand, and Bake Turner, who was a backup wide receiver, still around, and Al Atkinson, the middle linebacker, and Ralph Baker, who was the left side linebacker, and Randy Beverly, who made the 2 interceptions in Super Bowl III, is still alive, and so is Billy Baird, who was the safety. But beyond that, you're talking about John Schmidt, who was the center. Beyond that, you're talking about guys who were backups, on that team. So Matt's passing is a very big historical juncture. But more than that, people don't realize Matt Snell was the first collegian of note that chose to sign with the Jets. He could have signed with the Giants. They drafted him too. And they sent Emlyn Tennell, who was the only African-American, or the first African-American in New York football Giants history to play, and eventually a 6-time All-Pro, and he went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he was the Giants' representative to Matt Snell. The Jets had Sonny Werblin, and Matt preferred the Jets, one reason being he was dealing with the top guy. And he said, hey, I knew who Emlyn Tennell was, but, I wasn't talking to the president of the Giants. That and the money and the fact that the Jets gave him a promise, you'll start from the beginning. The Giants said, you'll learn, you'll play behind Alec Webster and a bunch of other guys that were very well known, Joe Morrison, guys who were very well known in the league, but were not stars for the Giants. And so they made no bones about the fact he wasn't going to start. So Matt really was the first guy, the guy that really set the torch alive for Sonny Werblin and gave him hopes that his plan of throwing a lot of money at a lot of good players was going to get him to pay attention. And that year, they not only signed Matt, but they signed Jerry Philbin and they signed Dave Herman, who turned out to be really critical players, not only for the team as a whole for years, but in Super Bowl III in particular, because Dave Herman, again, is the guy that stopped Bubba Smith, which was a big thing to stop. I asked Gary what was going on with Matt in his closing years, and he said Matt got very inward. He wouldn't even return Gary's phone calls. I talked to Matt about a month ago because one of his Jet teammates said, hey, I'd like to talk to Matt. Do you have his phone number? I gave him the phone number, but I called Matt and I said, will you talk to Carl McAdams?
Yeah.
And he said, sure. But he never picked up the phone when Carl called. And he wouldn't even pick up the phone when Gary called. I asked Gary what really did him in, and he said his legs. His legs just really gave out on him. He loved to be able to walk. He loved to drive his car, and he couldn't drive anymore. He just basically, he got old. I had talked to Matt several years ago, and he told me he was getting a lot of stress tests. So I assumed there might have been something heart-related, to his condition. But, the fact that he's gone is a very sad thing, I think, for all Jet fans. Not as sad as Gino Smith coming back, but a sad day in the history of the franchise, because this really goes back to literally the start of the franchise, the second year of its existence, its first year in Shea Stadium, and out of the horrible Polo Grounds, and the fact that Matt literally decided to cut himself off, and nothing that I said to him or that Gary DiFilippo, his best friend who worked on him for years to try to break that rupture, to get them to come back again, nothing could get him past the hurt that he suffered when they wouldn't give him a reference for a job as a foreman, which is really what it came down to. I read a couple of clips this morning from the New York papers and some of the other things that have been written, and they get it wrong. They said he was upset because he was promised a job and they never gave him a job. Well, that was one thing, but the thing that really caused the rupture was the references. And the fact that he was told literally the Hess organization, and Leon Hess had become the majority owner by the mid-'70s of the Jets. They had a policy, they didn't give references to players, which, was on that tape that you put up before. And by the way, as I mentioned, a story written by Mike Flory on Pro Football Today, Pro Football Talk, actually cut to the video that you put up after we had our conversation months ago about why Matt Snell and the Jets, just were not talking to each other. So a sad day, but, my wife came up to me yesterday and gave me a hug and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just feel terrible that this never got resolved, and that, and nothing appeared to have worked. And then to hear today that Woody was actually willing to come out and, quote, do anything to get Matt back I give Woody credit because I have blasted him, and everybody else has too, because basically I led the charge, assuming that he had not done anything. And I told the Jets before the 50th anniversary, he's not walking in through the front door on his own. You're going to have to go to him. And I literally said, Woody's going to have to get into a chauffeured limousine, go to Jersey City, and knock on Matt's door and basically say, Matt, I'm not leaving till you open the door. I don't even know now at that point if that would have actually changed anything. Maybe yes, maybe no. Literally, we'll never know.
Wow. Well, that's a seismic update, Bob, on the Woody Johnson piece. That's something obviously I had not heard. You even yourself had not heard until you just heard this.
And I won't tell this to anybody else. This is exclusive to you. So
I appreciate that.
Put this video up today and get whatever publicity you can out of it.
Yeah, we will definitely clip this up separate from the Boy Green Daily interview, and you guys will be able to find it in the video section. Bob, is there anything else on Matt Snell that you want to share? Because, like I said, I tried to highlight it at the beginning of the show, how important Matt Snell was to this Jets organization, the merger with his impact in the Super Bowl. Of course, he's still fourth on the Jets all-time rushings list. There's a lot there for Matt Snell.
Let me tell you how much Matt Snell gave to the Jets.
Please.
He's his career ended in 1972. It ended because his spleen was burst or injured while he was playing special teams. He continued to play on special teams when he was no longer the featured running back on the team. Because the Mohawk guy had shown up and had basically taken over. And Matt continued to play on special teams. He got hurt. They carried him off the field. He told the Jets trainer that he felt something or he heard something in his stomach, and they didn't think about what it might be. He went home that night, and he collapsed in his home. They rushed him to Lenox Hill Hospital, and they found that he was bleeding to death because of the spleen. And that was the end of his football career. And nothing really was made of that again until, my book came out. But he literally almost gave his life, for this team. And the funny thing was he grew up a Giants fan on Long Island because the Giants were the only football team in town in the 50s.
Wow. Man, it's just on one hand, I'm glad that Matt Snell got to live 84 years of life. Not a lot of people get a chance to do that, but on the other hand, I'm sad for Bo, Jada, his family.
Great.
Very important person.
Great family. He was so proud of them, and he was the first member of his family to go to college.
Yeah.
And another tidbit, and it's in my book.
What's that book again, Bob?
It's called Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team, capital TEAM, that changed football. When Matt Snell was drafted, he had no idea what that meant. His mom called him up at Ohio State and said, you just got drafted by the Giants, and you got drafted you got drafted by the Jets. And he went to Woody Hayes, the coach, and he said, I just got drafted. What the hell does that mean? And Woody said, for the moment, forget about it, because the other league will also draft you. He said, now, Matt, here's what's going on. You cannot have an agent. And if you bring an agent onto the campus grounds, your scholarship is over. And so Matt didn't have an agent, and he didn't even understand what the draft was. He comes into Woody and he says, okay, I got drafted by the Jets and I got drafted by the Giants. What do I do now? And Woody said, get the best offer you can from each of them. Now, how the hell was Matt Snell going to negotiate to get the best offer? He was a kid, and he didn't even know what the draft was. He didn't know what the American Football League was. Well, he got a better offer from the Giants than he got from the Giants, and a promise that he'd be allowed to start. And Woody Hayes became his agent, his negotiator. Woody Hayes helped him decide, basically pointed out everything in the contract that he had to consider about making his choice. Can you imagine that back then? The head coach of your team is the guy that tells you, okay, you got a better offer here than you got from there. And I don't know, maybe Woody even said to him, go back and ask for this or go back or ask for that. I doubt it.
Right.
That is how Matt Snell became
Oh my
the
gosh.
Jet.
That is a terrific story, Bob. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Again, a reason why every Jet fan, and I'm sorry to be so direct about this, you got to read my book.
Yes.
It is so full of insights like that about not just Matt Snell, but the other players on that team and how unique that time was in football annals and how and why that team got put together and how, and this is, I think, especially important today, Weeb Eubank was given 5 years in his original contract to turn this team into a championship contender. And it wasn't until the 6th year that it finally came together. And why did it happen? One reason was they offered the job to Vince Lombardi after the 5th year, and Lombardi said no. And Lombardi yet is the guy who told the NFL before Super Bowl III, be careful with Namath. He's the only guy in football who's so talented that he could completely change the whole focus and tone of the game. And sure enough, that's what Joe did that day, along with Matt.
Well, folks, if you read my Matt Snell story this morning that came out, there is a direct link, an Amazon link to Bob Lederer's book where you can purchase the book. We're going to have to, I'll definitely do it over the summer. We're going to have to do some sort of a joint partnership giveaway where I purchase a lot of the books and we make it a part of our raffles and
you're
spread
the one
awareness
who bought all those books.
Yeah, there you go. That was the surge. So we're going to connect all those dots and certainly do that. And Bob, thank you for taking the time today. Thank you for that exclusive. Like I said, we'll definitely clip this up separate from the live Boy Green Daily show. It's like 90 minutes right now, so people can see it easier. We'll clip it up and put it in the video section. So thank you for sharing that exclusive.
Hey, Jet fans, don't cry about Gino. If you're going to cry today, cry for Matt Snell.
Well put. Bob, thank you so much.
See you Friday.
There he is. Bob Lederer, again, the author of that book, behind me on my left shoulder, Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. Again, I wrote a piece about it this morning. Unfortunately, we lost Matt Snell yesterday at the age of 84. Passed away at an assisted living home on Long Island. Our love and thoughts and everything are sent to Matt Snell. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got plenty of people who want to call into the program. Up next is EZ here on the show. EZ?
Man, that is so sad. What a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, God damn. I wish they could have put something together for that man before he passed.
Sounds like he didn't want it, though, so that part makes me feel a little bit better that he had no interest. Like there was nothing that apparently could have been done.
I think that if enough work was done, they could have. I think at the end, at least before he passed, he knew that they wanted to reconcile.
Right.
So that was made known to him. So if at that point it was his fault, then I mean his decision, not his fault. I'm not saying that. Don't get dizzy, guys. I'm still turning the steering wheel. Woo! So anyway, the whole thing with Gino, I was under the impression Gino was going to get released and we were going to be able to get him for the league minimum. But like you were saying, if it was only going back a couple of picks, and paying $1 million more to get a quality, starting quarterback, be a journeyman or what have you, he's still a quality NFL starter, a legitimate NFL starter. I guess it's worth it to make sure you get him.
Right.
So my feeling is, in a situation like this, do you then get a Mac Jones, someone who is young and has upside as a backup? That's my thought. And I don't like Mac Jones because he's a Patriot, but maybe, he's not going to try to trip people and kick them in the balls anymore. Who knows?
We can only hope. The problem with Mac is that he would just be so expensive that Gino would have to be the backup based on the price that you pay, like because they want a second round pick plus. So if you got that, Mac would instantly have to be the starter. I would assume.
Then let him rot.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I feel like if they are going to get him a backup, but I would be shocked if that was Mac Jones.
So is Kyler Murray going to Minnesota?
I believe that's going to happen at 4:01 p.m. today.
Okay.
60 seconds after the new league year opens.
Gotcha. I understand. It's a process.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And by the way, here's just breaking news coming in. This does have anything to do with the Jets, but I just feel necessary to bring it up on the show. The Ravens are a bunch of scumbags, man. So they bail on their Crosby trade last night, and now they've signed Trey Hendricks. So they bail on the Ravens thing. It sounds like they got cold feet and immediately put it over to signing another pass rusher. That feels sketchy, as the kids say. So Ravens, super squirrely, man.
What happened with that? Did he fail the test, or did they just change their mind and use his thing as an excuse?
I believe it is the latter of those two things you said. I think they just had buyer's remorse, and then they can, physicals are not one and the same. A physical with the Jets and a physical with the Ravens are not the same thing. So they can fail him for anything they want to negate the trade. So I think it was BS.
I guess they just decided they didn't want to spend that much on the guy.
Apparently, right? Yeah.
But this actually helps the Jets now that they're not getting all these draft picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Right, yeah. The Raiders don't have those picks anymore right now, right? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that helps. What were they saying that was going to help us with? I don't know. Anyway, so do you still think we get that fast guy? What the hell was his name? With our number 2 pick.
Arvell Reese.
Do you think we go Reese and then go a guard now? I would.
Probably.
I would just go Reese, and then I would do the guard. And then in the second round, I would double up on wide receivers. And then maybe if we get a chance in the 4th round, if Drew Aller is there, then grab him. Because I want Drew Aller.
Yeah, I would say my gut right now would tell me that Arvell Reese 2, Vega 16, and then we jump into the second round. But there's more free agency to happen, so maybe they can fill some holes and change their plan.
Holy shit! Look at the price of diesel.
Wow.
Yeah. Jesus. I'm fueling up the truck.
Of course. Hey, Easy, you keep filling up. We will cycle back to you. I'll jump back over to another call. By the way, that Trey Hendrickson deal, holy blank. That apparently is Buco Bucks. Let me see the contract. I think it just came in. A 4-year, $112 million deal to keep Trey Hendrickson with the Ravens. Oh, my God. That is the scummiest thing I've ever seen. They bail on the Max Crosby thing and then say, we can just sign Trey Hendrickson without giving up any draft picks. That is shitty as hell. And if I am any team that ever deals with the Ravens, I am 1,000% looking sideways at Baltimore forever. Yikes. By the way, I do appreciate Easy taking us on that road trip. That was very nice. All right, back to the phone lines. Hey, look at this guy. It's Chef Kevin Gilbert, baby, in the home studios. Very nice.
Hey, BG, what's up, man? How you feeling, brother?
I'm doing okay. And I have to assume, is that 7 for Gino Smith, or is that Asmaniac Madness happening there? Is that what's going on?
Hey, we could do both, man. Coincidence.
There you go. Very nice.
We could do both, man. I'm not jumping up and down, but based off of the options of what was out there, I think it was good, man. I think it was good.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not. Did you say Super Bowl before? I wasn't sure.
No. So this is what I said. Just in case someone missed it, I want to make sure it doesn't get misinterpreted. That's the worst thing that can happen. The thing I said was very bluntly that in 2026, the New York Jets, their playoff drought will end with Gino Smith, the quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, the playoff drought will end, baby.
But I choose to believe that it is. I believe. I believe. I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
Do you believe, Chef?
Playoffs?
That's what I'm talking about. Let's get some gosh darn playoffs. We can end the playoff drought, and he can bring us our playoffs.
Playoffs? Are you talking about the playoffs?
So before I answer, man, I hate to answer your question with a question.
All right.
But do you feel like Malik Willis is better than Tua?
Do I feel that Malik Willis is better than Tua? No.
Okay. Because if you did, then it's like, where are we getting these wins from? If you feel like Willis is better over Tua. Now, the Dolphins, they don't have some pieces,
Right.
Chubb, who's the other? Tariq Hill.
Yeah.
Are they going to get better? I mean, every NFL team for the most part gets better, but based off of what you said about Willis is a lesser
Which
of
I do
Tua,
think so. Yeah.
which is crazy because they paid him OD money.
Oh, that's nuts. Nuts.
So I mean that's a little crazy, but for me, I feel like we did good, decent, all right, with the draft, with those free agent pickups, man. All defense. The story that you had with was a no Sean,
Yeah.
Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. You're a great reporter, man, when it comes to this stuff and getting us, the intel and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
saving us time of, searching the web and all that kind of stuff. And we trust you with your reporting. Back, so with No Sean, I feel like he's a hitter. He's somebody that's like a ball hawk. He'll find his way around the ball. And this is like what we need. We need people on defense like last year, like that dude Brownlee.
Oh,
he
yeah.
gave us like some hope, like, okay, we're gonna get somebody that's gonna be in there. Michael Carter, man, I wasn't sold on his ass, man, and I was getting roasted for that. Like, yo, what are you talking about? Nah, man, I think he was more of a scheme dude.
Yeah.
All right, like Sherwood, is he a scheme dude?
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine, like all these solid dudes, like, or is the motivation the leader? Like who is it? Like for right now, everybody bailed, everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Who's left when the dust clears?
It's a good question.
All right. So what? Brees? I put in the super chat the other day. What, grown men?
Johnny Boy was going after Brees for the tweets. I saw that.
Shout out to Johnny Boy, Indy Jet man, get better,
Yes.
Austrian Jet fan.
Yeah.
Yo, salute y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee Club, Espresso Club members, man. Yo, salute to y'all. If I'm not gonna tell people how to fan, man.
All right.
But where's the outrage for AVT? Everyone's all set. Everyone's like, oh man, I wish it could work out. Yo, the fucking dude couldn't get on the field, man.
True.
He couldn't get on the field.
Truth.
You saw how much New England paid? What, you want to compete with that? Nah.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when you had Sam on,
mm-hmm.
I was talking about, hey, look, if we don't re-sign Simpson, if we don't re-sign AVT, I'm cool with it. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm cool with it.
You said that, yeah.
Yo, we all should be cool with this. They don't want to be. Yo, let them go.
Yeah.
Let him go. Talk how you guys want to talk. You want people that want to be on this team? Brees wants to be here. He just wants a bag. That's it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Talk about production, whatever. Yo, he has nothing. He has nothing.
Yeah.
So now, the backup. All right, Gino's there.
Yeah.
Do we feel great? I know you feel good. I thought out of what was there, I thought that was a good option.
Mm-hmm.
All right, feel good story, this and that. All right, cool. DeMario, hey, bring come back here.
Yeah, there we go, baby.
Come back here. AG, hey, bring the whole band back.
I'm cool. Yeah.
We offense, man. We gotta nail this offense, man.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet on offense, I don't think.
No, what?
Oh yeah, we brought back Andrew Beck back. Yeah. We got Andrew Beck.
Myers, right? We got Myers.
Yeah, we extended Myers. Yep, Myers.
The Long Island native Ruckert.
Yep, there you go. Beautiful.
We got a couple of them.
Yeah.
I told y'all about Mechie, man.
You did.
That's what.
Yep.
Mechie. AD. If AD is we agreed. You said 3. Like you're happy, if he goes
Best
3
case 3. Yeah, if he's any higher than that, that's bad. Yeah.
Yes. For me, if that's a ceiling.
Okay.
I agree. I don't want to see him wide receiver 2, whatever. I think going into the season at wide receiver 4, I think that buys us a little bit of stability. Injuries happen. If this dude is number 2, someone or 1 or 2 goes down, then what? Now Mitch is a starter. What was he doing? Watch the stuff is frustrating me. The stuff is frustrating me with fans that are talking about, this and that. The production wasn't there. Watch him in the run game. Watch the whole game. It's different when you're watching it on your couch and when you're in the stadium. When you're in the stadium, you see everything. You don't have to watch what the media wants you to watch. You don't have to do. You see everything. And what he was doing in the run game was trash. Was trash. McDonald too.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to throw stones at him, but now he's moving into a new position, man.
Yeah.
He's standing up now.
Yeah.
He had an issue setting the edge last year. I don't want to hear no talks like, he was dominant. If anybody's saying that stuff, man, no, like, please, man, what are you talking about? What are you seeing? McDonald's not setting the edge. He's a rusher. So in his defense, you should see that stuff. But now we're setting to the run, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right up the middle. Or the 2 outsides that just keeping on rushing. Just gash the middle. We got the fatties now, man. Hopefully that will, help prevent that run stuff, that running up the middle,
sure.
Those big plays that we were receiving, those little chump yards where they were breaking it off. The Cowboys game, we saw a little right before the end of the first half, some stupid foolishness going on, man. Like it's bothering some. But now, I'm feeling a little bit better, man. Better,
good.
Man. All right,
nice.
Get rid of the people you want to get rid of. Bring in some dogs, man. Bring in some people I want to. Some veterans. That's what I was saying last year. Veterans. Where's the defensive line help? Last year we were saying this off season, and until right before week 1, they traded for Phillips and Briggs. All right, cool. Y'all love Phillips. Y'all love, none of y'all was like, Phillips is a beast. He's a game record. None of y'all was saying that. If Phillips game, if he could play as good as he talks, all pro. I'm telling you, all pro. Now we brought in some boys where if he ain't stepping up, he gonna be on the bench. He gonna be on the bench. Talk, say whatever you want to say, leak whatever you want. I don't give a damn, man. Leak, I'm cool with the leaks. Leak everything. I want to know about what the hell is going on in that damn building. I'm paying to go to these goddamn games. I want to know what the hell is going on and why we ain't winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to know. So if you talking about Gino making the playoffs, I got week 1, man. Week 1, put it all together. We could talk about the feel-good story of the offseason, Gino coming back, drafted, Davis getting the boys and all that. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. But when week 1 comes, man, when we on the field, when that chin strap is buckled and tightened up, when them boys is hitting and that grass smells different, those leaves is starting to change. That's football.
Yeah.
That's where we at. Jersey, New York, PA, Connecticut. That's what we like. That's how we grew up on. That's what I know about football. The smell in the air, the summer air, changing now. We're starting to transfer into the fall season. That's what makes me feel good, man.
Mm-hmm. And rightfully so.
I'm busy right now. Let me I just finished my bacon right now. You want to see a little bit of what?
Yeah, please.
Because to be honest, man, I've been down for a little bit. I had an emergency surgery, which is why I didn't, really call in or whatever. But
I hope you're okay, man.
Yeah. I'm better, man. I've been out for a minute, so I'm back to work on Well, hopefully I get cleared on Monday. Monday's the
Yeah.
16th. Hopefully I get cleared.
Okay.
And then back to work on Tuesday, which is important because it's St. Patrick's Day.
Of course.
So, you know, the business
We got to
week
take
of
care
the
of
year.
yourself first, Chef. I mean, for God's
I know,
sakes.
I'm
always thinking
with the
about
whole
people.
stuff. My fault, man. With the whole stuff that went on, I'm telling my boss, like, yeah, I'll be back in like a day or two. Yo, I had to go under the knife, man. It was an emergency. I'm like,
good
yo,
Lord.
what the hell? No, it was crazy. That'll be a story for another time, man.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, let me
let me see that
so
bacon.
today, I told my wife, I was like, yo, I need some stuff or whatever. I want to make myself a nice little breakfast, nice little brunch. So
okay.
You know, that was cool that you had Lederer on. I was able to bang out my French toast and all that.
Nice. Yeah.
Now my bacon's done. Now I'm gonna get ready to chop up the bacon. Where are we at here?
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh my goodness! Look at the setup here. Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
I can't really see it too because I got
Bacon.
my bacon.
Yeah. I'm seeing it though. Yeah, tomatoes. Wow. French bread. Wow. So organized. Very nice. I should expect nothing less. Okay. Oh wow.
Gotta get the omelet. Right.
Okay.
Nice. I had a couple of these cinnamon sticks in my batter.
Oh, all right.
Little Hershey syrup, drizzle that on top of the French toast.
Oh yeah, baby, nice. Oh,
the goods, man. The goods.
Some food porn going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord, have mercy. Oh, good Lord, I'm getting hungry just looking at it.
Yeah. My man, I appreciate you. So yeah, it's getting it back, man. Like the muscle memory and all that, and just seeing how I could push myself. So with the cutting, with the chopping, picking things up, bending down, it's like. It's a little difficult, but it's getting better for me. So, today it was just like, all right, this is the first time I'm cooking in about a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, get this right. Wife just left, I'm home alone or whatever. So, I'll finish knocking this out, make myself a nice little omelet.
Okay.
Well,
Chef, I'll tell you this. If you ever, it's my gift from me to you, because this is the kind of guy I am. If you ever need somebody there to eat the food you're testing out while you're sort of getting your cooking back into the rhythm, I'm there for you. I will drive 5 hours, and I will drive the distance, and I will be there for you, because it seems very important to you. So let me sort of like go through the process here, practice it up. I'm there for you. Man. I'm in.
Yeah. It was a struggle going. When I was in the hospital, it was a struggle going from the bed to the bathroom.
Oh,
so to be where I'm at right now was good, and I wasn't scared or nervous or anything. It was just some freak thing that happened or whatever. Right. I didn't plan for it or whatever.
Well, the entire coffee club is pouring support in the comments for you. So please make sure you take care of yourself, Chef. For God's sakes, you got a family and you got beautiful food that apparently you didn't lose the skills. It wasn't a Space Jam situation where someone stole all of your chef cooking powers. It appears they appear fully intact based on my expert eye. Yes,
I appreciate it, and me, man. I don't come on and promote, which I know you like. You offer, you allow the platform. Is it possible for me to plug something?
Of course, Chef. You're the man. We gotta make that official, baby. We gotta put a Cloverleaf Tavern logo somewhere on here. Hell yeah, I'm all in. Let's go. What's on your mind?
No, I appreciate that. Well, first and foremost, man, thanks again.
Oh wow. Oh, what terrible timing! As soon as he is about to wait, Chef, do we have you, Chef?
Do you hear me?
You've fallen in a well. Ah, there you are.
Me?
I was just about to say that's terrible timing. You know what? Let me just get to this promotion. Then boop, and then your screen went black and you disappeared. All right, let's try that again. Go ahead.
Wifey was just here, and now she's calling like, "Yo,
that's the worst." What the hell is going on out there?
Come on, lovely lady. But yeah, man, fastest food reviews. My son and I, we do amazing stuff over there. Just bonding and all that. Just go over there. If you want to subscribe, that's cool. Show some love or whatever. We appreciate that. As Maniac Madness, man, with what Jake got going on, from the schedule, I'm scheduled tomorrow morning. Now, he said something yesterday where I might be going this afternoon, but I think that was a mix-up. I think I'm, going on tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to be there because my mom is actually going into surgery tomorrow.
Oh, geez.
That's a whole nother thing, but that was a planned surgery.
Yeah.
But yeah, just show your support for me, guys, man. Jet fan. I ride for y'all.
Yeah.
I'm committed to this stuff. I'm committed to, showing love to Boy Green. I show love to Jake. I show love to everybody else, man. Y'all show love at the Cloverleaf Tavern when you do come in. Y'all ask for me. You know, we chop it up. I'm approachable. I'm one of y'all, man. And if you don't agree with all my takes, yo, that's cool, man. That you know, it ain't no big deal. I'm just somebody that wants wins. All right.
Me too.
Let's do it. Playoffs. Let me see week. I got to see everything come back to me before week 1.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I feel because I will be at training camp.
Mm-hmm.
I will be at training camp
multiple
great. Times.
Hope we link up.
I'm gonna see these guys like I do every year. I'm gonna see them for the draft party at MetLife. I say what up to all of them. So I don't dodge smoke, man. I say what I say about these players, and then I see them. Yeah. Most of them know me, man. And it's all love, man. So BG, thanks again, brother. Appreciate you.
There he is, Chef. Continued recoveries, my friend. And yes, again, Chef is in Asmaniac Madness. It sounds like that'll be tomorrow morning. For those who don't know, Jake Asman, a wonderful Jets content creator, does like a March Madness style bracket for callers. And you guys can vote on those shows for those callers. So please make sure you support Chef. You guys will sometimes see when people call in, they'll have like a seating next to their name. I thought it was just for Gino Smith love, but I guess for Chef Kevin Gilbert, it was also for Asmaniac Madness. But nonetheless, so show your love. Folks, super fun show, unbelievable. We will cut up that Bob Lederer exclusive. Thank you to Bob for calling and sharing that nugget on Matt Snell. That makes me feel a lot differently about the situation, so I feel very nicely about that. We have 800 people now in the room. People, do me a favor. Like the video. That's free to do. Hit subscribe. I do Jets content every single day at 7:30 in the morning. And in between these 7:30 shows, there's other shows. Wednesday is a day I go live at 11 o'clock. So you guys will hear some more NFL and free agency stuff. We'll be live for that show. I also do YouTube shorts. So every signing the Jets do, I write an article about it and then do a YouTube short giving you guys the most up-to-date information, contracts, what's important, what's not, and all that. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of those shorts as they are absolutely coming through. And as Philium says, I saw him say it earlier, if you're subscribed to the channel and you say, Paul, I'm already a subscriber. What more can I do? Well, here's what more you could do. Tell your family, tell your brother, your spouse, your kids, your parents, anybody in your universe to subscribe to the channel. Spread the gospel of Boy Green. Think about this right now, this moment in time. I'll hit refresh to see whatever our current number is. Okay. We are at 8,454 subscribers. If just all of you told one person about Boy Green Daily and helped them subscribe, we would jump to 16,000 some odd subscribers, which would be awesome. So the more subscribers I have, the more money I can make for my family, the more I can invest in this show that I love doing. So again, that is the way to do it, baby. And as Philium says, it takes just 30 seconds to hit subscribe. You can look it up. Look up youtube.com/@BoyGreen25, subscribe. Bing! If you're on the YouTube app, just look it up. If you're on Twitter right now, if you're one of the 700 people that are across our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, audio-only version, open up your phones, open up your tablets, open up your computers, subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get to 10,000 very quickly. I appreciate all the support that's out there in the universe for these shows. I love doing this. I'm a diehard Jets fan. I cover the team for Heavy.com. And I try to pour my blood, sweat, and tears and everything into this channel for this community. And hopefully the world gives it back tenfold. So, Philium, thank you for the kind words. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And again, a quick shout out to all the super chats and shout outs. We got MFC gifting a membership, Harvey Bouchard gifting a membership, Luca with his 13-month member shout out, and Jake Asman, of course, giving a shout out to Eugene Cyril Smith III, aka Gino Smith, the new quarterback of the NYJ, or the old quarterback. New quarterback and old quarterback. Either way, it's still crazy that Gino Smith is the quarterback of the Jets. Unbelievable. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, we'll be back live in like 90 minutes with another live show with NFL insider Matt Lombardo. We'll talk about this crazy Max Crosby situation, give you the latest there, talk about some of the best moves in free agency, worst moves in free agency, and then, of course, the latest in all things the New York Jets. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.